all other species get manipulated by the world, get crushed by the world. Only the human being has the capacity to rise above the world, meet with its challenges, and overcome them. But today, because we lack this knowledge, we've become victims of the world. Because we've become small-minded. See, it's not that the world is more treacherous than it was before. It is that the human mind has shrunk. When your mind becomes small, every little thing becomes a huge problem. When your mind expands, you're able to effortlessly overcome any challenge that the world presents before you. This capacity every single human being has. It is not the exclusive privilege of educated people. It is not the exclusive domain of Brahmins. Every single human being has it. So, if today we go back with the confidence that yes, I will be able to overcome my challenges, that yes, I will triumph over the world, then the objective of this session will have been achieved. So, let's take a look at our position in the world today. The world demands excellence from us, perfection from us, what they call as peak performance, flow, being in the zone. You've heard all these terms? They are from the field of sport, which means it is not enough that once in your lifetime you come up with superlative performance and then you can go to sleep after that. Every day, every time you go out there, you are expected to give of your best. Isn't that so? A surgeon can't say, one time I operated brilliantly, and next 3 patients I killed. Not acceptable. Similarly, each one of us in our respective fields cannot afford to take the stand that once I've come up with excellence, now I can relax. It is not enough for a batsman to score a double century once and then flop the rest of the series. Every time Zakir Hussain goes out to play the tabla, he is expected to come up with magical performance. Right? Now the question is, how do you do that? Because the enigma of fluent performance is a mystery. Sometimes, without realizing it, you come up with wonderful performance, which surprises even you. You think back to those moments and say, was that me? And at other times, when you desperately need it, it eludes you. However much you may want to be perfect at your work, there seems to be a block, an obstruction. What is that block? How do you remove it? Where does it come from? Are the questions that we need to address. And Vedanta presents this brilliant analysis of human thought, that every one of us consists of 3 distinct thought textures. 1, the superlative. 2, mediocre. 3, disgusting. So, internally also when you look at yourself, you are a mystery to yourself. You don't know who you are. For instance, is this you? Are you lazy? Indifferent? You couldn't care less? Hell with it. Are you erupting every few days with crude, base, horrible language? Are you reckless in your driving? Are you speculative in business? Do you gamble your life away? Or is this you? Are you overcome with greed and anger? Are you engaged in frenetic activity driven by the doctrine of more? I want more. Are you competitive and therefore agitated, frustrated? And are you egoistic? Or those few moments when you come up with magic in your life. You're calm and serene, contemplative, at peace with yourself. Like Ganguly said, he was talking about cricket. He said, your foot finds itself moving towards the line of the ball. You don't have to do anything. Effortlessly you come up with great performance. And at other times when there is a storm brewing in the mind, the foot, like a stubborn soldier, stays put, refuses to move, and you get out. The truth is, we are a combination of all these three. And it is the proportion that makes the difference. These three, the first, tamas, lazy, indifferent, heedless, disgusting. Rajas, greed, passion, competition, agitation. Sattva, inspiration, vision. All of us have all three, but in varying proportions. And this is what makes the difference. This is what creates a wonderful variety of human beings in the world.